All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me on the channel. My name is Kelly Roach, and I help entrepreneurs to build, grow, and scale 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses online. Today's video is about what not to delegate as a CEO that could put your business at risk. So before we dive into that, let's really talk about the importance of team in the scale process of building your business. It is going to be absolutely essential that you move through the stages of team building, from hiring help to building a really solid winning team of producers on the ground floor of your business, through the director level, and ultimately vice presidents, executive leadership, and so forth as you scale into the millions. You will find that the number one thing that will create freedom for you, the business owner, is going to be having incredible leaders at the right level and a good balance and a good match. I call it the 10-10-10 model. 10 level executive leadership, 10 level mid-level management, and 10 level executive presence at that producer level. So the 10-10-10, there are 3 core levels of support in your business that will allow you to have the most freedom, the most flexibility, and the most peace of mind as you build and grow your business. But I see that there's a line that many times gets blurred for business owners that I think it's important to make a distinction between, and that is the difference between delegation and abdicating power. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs that get so excited about delegation and so excited about getting things off their plate that they kind of like hand off big projects or, lots of tasks, lots of things in the business without doing the due diligence around inspecting what they expect and ensuring that they invest in the right training, support, resources, feedback, and direction to make sure that the things, in fact, that are being delegated are being done in the best interest of the business. And I think that if you've been in business for any period of time, you have probably had the experience of delegating something and giving it to the wrong person or giving it to someone that was ill-equipped to manage it and having it backfire, right? We've all had that experience. And there's certain things that you need to know that at the end of the day, even though you're going to build a winning team, even though you're going to maybe step out of the day-to-day running of the business, ultimately, there's things that you need to keep your hands on the steering wheel with that are going to keep you out of trouble and make sure that you kind of have your I's dotted and T's crossed to protect yourself, protect the team and the company, to make sure you can stay in the game the long haul. So a couple of things that you want to make sure that you do not delegate in your business. Number one is important financial decisions and the financial running of the company. Now, let me be very clear. Does this mean that you're the finance person in the business? No. Does this mean that you don't have a financial leadership team? No. Does this mean that you have to be in all the nuances, all the details, all the everyday running of what happens end to end with the finance and then the business? No. But here's what it does mean. And I'll give a perfect example. I talk to entrepreneurs all the time about making decisions in their businesses and about investing in things that they need in order to grow the business. And so many times an entrepreneur will say to me, I need to talk to my CPA about that, or I need to talk to my accountant. And I always find that really strange because as a CEO and as a business owner, you should be consulting with a CPA. You should be working with an accountant, but that person is not the same as the internal team, whether it's you or others in your business that are literally doing daily reporting on the expenses for the month, the confirmed revenue for the month, what the gap is in order to hit your conversion rate or your profitability rate that you want to achieve. And you should know those numbers front, back, inside, and out every single day. Every single day, you should know what's coming into the account, what's going out of the account. And you should know total committed revenue and total committed expenses for the month by the time day one of the month hits, so that you know exactly where you are going to be from a cash position standpoint. This is ultimately the responsibility of the CEO, because every other decision that you make in the business has to tie back to the financial well-being and the financial health of the business. This should then also trickle down into people management and making investments or divergence from people in the business, because you should be evaluating the contributions that the investments that you're making in the business are bringing back to the bottom line of the business. So as a CEO, you need to know your numbers. It doesn't mean that you have to run the reports or that you have to be in the day-to-day of the transactions financially. But what you do need to have your hands on is you need to make sure that you have a finance team that is producing succinct and clear reporting every single week, if not every day. You need to make sure that you know at any given time your expenses, your committed revenue, and what the gap is to get to your profitability goal for the month. And then make sure that that plan trickles down through your leadership and down through the levels of your organization to get from where you are to where you want to be. Many times I see business owners that are overwhelmed, intimidated, or maybe a little bit anxious about their numbers, completely abdicate their power, completely give it away. And then they wake up one day to find out the business is out of money. I don't know how I'm going to pay payroll this month. And now I'm stuck with a terrible set of decisions on my plate because I was not aware of the state of the business and how things were moving and evolving day to day, week to week, month to month. Okay. So you want to make sure that you build a really strong internal finance team. You want to make sure that you're getting clear, correct, and specific reporting on a weekly basis that allows you to make decisions about the business. And you want to allow the state of the financial health of the business to then drive the leadership, the management, and the day-to-day direction of the people, right? And if you run a service-based business, especially, people are your biggest investment. They're also your biggest expense. So it's really, really important to understand how to guide and direct those resources. Number one. So number two is you can't delegate culture. Culture is a constant work in progress. Culture is something that literally on a daily basis, as the CEO, you are working to help your team to understand who you want to become as an organization. You are working to create a stickiness factor internally, just like you're working on creating a stickiness factor externally. Right? So your goal is that you're setting a North Star for the company, building a culture and creating a tone within the company that creates a place that people want to stay, want to grow, and feel like they can thrive. And then allow your leaders to take that culture and to form the subculture that's going to be within their division, their department, whatever the case, that really unifies their team and elevates their team together towards their goals. So culture is the second thing that no matter how big your business gets and no matter how advanced your team becomes, you do not want to delegate culture. Culture has to be a part of your role day to day as the CEO of the company. And the third thing that you don't want to delegate is vision. Vision is clarity about the future. People have to feel connected to your vision, invested in your vision, and that they own a piece of your vision. And that starts at the very top of the organization. Again, of course, your leaders are going to take that vision and they're going to carry it forward. They're going to take that vision and they're going to break it down into departmental goals and focus areas and action plans. But you at the CEO level want to set vision. You want to constantly refocus the team on who the business is becoming and what the why is behind that. And this goes hand in hand with culture. And the final thing that you never want to delegate as a CEO, and again, when I say delegate, it doesn't mean that you don't have someone that's helping you with the tactical implementation, but you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel with certain things that protect the health and safety of the business, is making sure that you have correct protection for the business in the form of legal documentation, insurance coverage, and the right things in place from an employment law standpoint, as well as your contractual agreements with customers. Now, again, Does this mean that you need to be in the tactical details of all the little nuances of what's going on with this? Absolutely not. Your team ultimately will be able to manage and handle almost all of this. But I'll give a great example of something that happened to me earlier this year. I had an executive leader that was responsible for renewing our insurance. Okay. And this was one of her core responsibilities. It was something that I delegated. It was something that, thank goodness, I did not take my hands off the steering wheel with, although I gave a responsibility to take tactical action. That action was not taken. And because of that action not being taken, actually our insurance was able to lapse, which is probably one of the worst things that you could let happen in a business. Now, thankfully, because I had my eye on it and I was following up and following up and following up, and when I didn't see it come through, I knew obviously it was time to manage this person out of the business and also time to get involved myself, which I did. And we got coverage right away and extended our plan. But two big lessons out of that, obviously that person needed to go, number one. And number two, it really reinforced why you can't ever fully delegate these things, even if you assign people tasks. Now, in this instance, this was a person that needed to be removed from the business anyway. So, that was lesson learned, and there were many other reasons for that as well. But regardless, when it's something that important, you simply cannot set it and forget it. And that's the point of today's show, whether it's related to your finances, your insurance, right? Your legal coverage, having strong contracts in place, making sure that the culture and the vision of your company are in check. These are things that you have to stay close to as a CEO, even as you grow and scale, even as you put great people in place to run, build, and grow your business. Okay. So if this was helpful for you, I want you to hit the bell and I want you to tap subscribe and make sure that you never miss a single session on this channel. This channel is designed to uplift, empower, and provide you with tools and resources to build and grow your business and to have success doing it in a clean and sustainable way. I hope these lessons learned and the information that I shared today was helpful for you. And make sure you comment down below. So if you're watching this video, put a comment down below. What was the biggest takeaway from today's video? Comment down below and let me know what is the biggest takeaway from today's video. If you have requests on topics you'd like me to cover in the future, those are my favorite videos to create, so I'd be happy to do that. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you got some great lessons learned on reinforcing your role as the CEO in your business and how to make sure that you're able to drive your vision forward to the ultimate outcome that you want to create in business and in life. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you back here soon.